In the headlines, Gombe commercial motorcycle rider who lost eye to thugs attack demand justice. Court asked to halt Tinubu's inauguration, extend Buhari's tenure as Peter Obi insists he will be Nigeria's president. NBC to appeal court order restraining fine imposition on broadcast stations. And on the international scene, United Nations Human Rights Report says at least 500 people believed to have died in Mali village massacre in 2022. Hello and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Sagir Ibrahim. Hello and welcome once again. A 34-year-old Okada rider has lost one eye after he was attacked by suspected gangs in Gombe metropolis. The Okada operator was attacked while trying to rescue his neighbor from suspected hoodlums who attacked the area. The father of four said life has been very difficult after losing one eye and four fingers in the incident. He is calling on security operatives to investigate the matter and bring the perpetrators to justice. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
The 34-year-old Gombe-based Okada operator was attacked after he joined his friends to rescue a victim of gang attack in their neighborhood. Sadly, he turned out to be the victim. The attackers used machetes and knives and wounded Ibrahim on his face. He lost his right eye and four fingers on his right arm.
Da suka shigo anguwan suna saran mutane. Suka shiga shaguna suka ɗebi kayayyakin mutane da sauransu.
Some thugs attacked our neighborhood and looted shops. The following day, they attacked again.
Na da daga aikin acaba na ajiye mashin a cikin gida. Sai muka ji ihu. To mu yan wannan area.
When I returned from my Okada work, I heard someone screaming. We went to rescue him. They removed one of my eyes and cut my fingers.
Suka sare ni a kayina, suka fasa min ido, suka cire min hannu.
Ibrahim, who has a wife and four children, is struggling to cater for his family because of the injuries he sustained during the attack. The victim, who now lives with his mother, is demanding for justice as his family is concerned that the suspected attackers were not arrested more than a month after the incident. His children are with their mother, who returned to her parents because he has nowhere to stay. That is why he is in my room. The victim's family admitted that they did little to reach out to the police to investigate the matter and arrest the perpetrators. Commenting on the issue, Nigeria Police Gombe State Command said failure of the victim's family to lodge an official complaint hinders the police from arresting the suspect.
Then you will not find them again. You will not see them. What you will only hear is blame. Blaming the police for not arresting the suspects. How do you expect the policeman to know the people that carried out this act on you if without reporting, without telling them some of the clues that the person resembles so? Yes, I know the person. No, I don't know the person. You are the one to give all this information.
Ibrahim, who is in pain due to the lost one eye, hopes that security agencies will guarantee the people's safety.
Kuma yaran ba wai ba a san su ba, yaran an san su, an san iyayensu.
We know the thugs and their parent. I want them to be punished. Their parents should compensate me for losing an eye and fingers. This is my problem.
In ma ba a kama su ba, a kama iyayensu su biya ni diyan idona da hannuna. Shine babban abun da yafi damuna.
Gombe has been battling with violence from thugs known as Kalare Boys, who have been unleashing mayhem on unsuspecting members of the public. Security operatives have, however, assured that the activities of the group will be curtailed to guarantee security of lives and property. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Well, there you have it. Also, a 25-year-old woman who allegedly kidnapped her own daughter to demand ransom from her husband has been arrested by police in Kano. Addressing a news conference, the State Police Commissioner Mohammed Gumel told reporters that several other suspects were arrested in connections with various kidnapping activities in the state. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jabrin filed in this report.
25-year-old divorced Rahama Suleiman was arrested in Madobi local government after demanding a ransom of 3 million naira from her ex-husband for the release of his daughter.
In a follow-up investigation, the victim was rescued in Madobi local government. The divorced wife was arrested and confessed to have planned the kidnap, where she took her daughter to a hideout and demanded that sum of money, that is that 3 million naira.
2 days after I took the child, my parents asked me of her whereabouts. I told them I don't know. We then started looking for her. Still, I refused to say anything. In fact, I reported the incident to the police. The next day, my ex-husband came to the house and I informed him that I received a call from someone demanding 3 million naira for the release of our daughter, when in actual fact, nobody called me.
But Rahama's ex-husband Kabiru Shehu believes that his divorced wife's action was a human error and has in fact reinstated her back to his house. Since I married her, she has never done something like this to me. I believe this one was a mistake. And even though we are divorced, it's no more than 28 days. And I have reinstated her back to my house. Unlike Rahama, this 45-year-old Zainab Rabiu is being accused of aiding the kidnap of her brother in Dalaloku government area of the state.
Zainab Rabiu, female of 45 years old of Gomaja quarters, a masterminder and an aunt to the victim that organized and arranged the kidnapping. The second suspect is Abdurrashid Saidu, 27 years old. The third suspect is Hassan Abdullahi, also 24 years old, and Ahmed Saleh, 25 years old, all of Sheikha quarters in Kano City. All suspects confessed to the commission of the crime and will be charged upon completion of investigation.
According to the command, one suspect was shot dead by his syndicate member in the process of a kidnap operation in Tofa local government.
In an attempt to shoot the son, they shot their colleague, one Umar Abdullahi alias Tambaba, who died on the spot.
Other suspects arrested include one Ashiru Muhammad with a large quantity of dried leaves suspected to be Indian hemp, 4 suspected kidnappers from Tudunwada, and 3 others in Rana local government area of the state. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
State directors of the Department of State Services are meeting in Kaduna to chart a roadmap to address insecurity challenges ravaging the northwest geopolitical region. The meeting agreed that successful security operations require an enabling environment as well as collaboration among security agencies to tackle all forms of criminality in the country. Take a look.
Insurgency, cattle rustling, farmers' herders conflict, arms trafficking, and communal clashes in the northwest geopolitical zone have become increasingly overwhelming for security operatives. The meeting of state directors of security in the 7 states of the northwest is to identify gaps to address security challenges undermining the peace of the zone.
Cattle rustling, farmers' herders conflicts, arms trafficking, and communal crises. These acts of criminality cut across the states of the Northwest. Hence, the justification for the intelligence sharing within the zone has improved tremendously, and by extension, its dissemination to end users, majorly sister agencies and the host state government.
And it is very necessary for the security agencies to intensify their collaborations and partnership so that solution will be brought. And I want us to collaborate more so that we can achieve our goals. Our goals is the same.
Speakers at the meeting harped on the need for collaboration, partnership, and synergy among the various security agencies to tackle insecurity in the northwest zone.
It is my wish from the judiciary that solutions at the end of the conference will be found, and I promise that we will continue to do our job in the judiciary such that we address all the issues of security in Kaduna State.
Many northern states, not least our states in the northwest, are confronting a unique set of security challenges. Criminal activities by bandits have threatened both rural and urban communities. Bandits have openly tried to crush the rural economy by attacking farmers in their fields and in their homes.
Personally, I can say it's terrific because almost all the time we receive intelligence report on what is happening around us, and we take strategic steps, to address such issues.
The meeting agreed that intelligence sharing among security agencies will help to curb criminal activities in the zone, and therefore the need for security agencies to continue to work together to tackle the monster of insecurity head-on. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Some residents of the Federal Capital Territory have asked the Federal High Court in Abuja to stop the inauguration of the President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The residents, represented by Anyagbunam Okoye, David Adza, Jeffrey Uchechi, Osang Paul, and Chibuike Nwachukwu, are seeking a court order restraining the Chief Justice of Nigeria and any judicial officer or any authority from swearing in any candidate in the February 25th presidential election as president or vice president. They argued that the provision of Section 134, subsection 2b of the Nigerian Constitution is such that candidates must fulfill the requirement of the law. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, had declared Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress winner of the February 25th presidential poll. Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and Peter Obi of Labour Party, who came second and third, are currently challenging Tinubu's victory in court. Also, Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has declared that he will be president of Nigeria. The former governor of Anambra State made the declaration on Friday at a book presentation entitled Peter Obi, Many Voices, One Perspectives in Awka, Anambra State capital. The book presentation was designed to raise funds to enable Peter Obi pursue his case at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. Obi also said that he would respect whatever is the decision of courts in the ongoing election litigation, urging his supporters to do same. He, however, said he will continue in the struggle for better Nigeria. Also, President Muhammadu Buhari and his family have moved into the glass house at the presidential villa in Abuja ahead of the inauguration of the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This was disclosed by the First Lady Aisha Buhari via a video shared on her official Instagram page after taking the incoming First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, around the State House. During the tour of the villa, Mrs. Buhari introduced Senator Tinubu to the various areas of the house, providing detailed explanations regarding the history and importance of each edifice. According to the First Lady, the glass house has served as a transitional abode for the outgoing president and their spouse during the transition period. It provides a symbolic and literal space for the outgoing president, leaving room for the incoming president to fully take charge. While stating that she and her husband have moved into the iconic residence, Mrs. Buhari urged succeeding governments to maintain the practice of having the outgoing president and his spouse to reside in the glass house till transitions are over. She further stressed that she believes God Almighty would help her make positive impact and build upon the legacy of Mrs. Buhari.
We thank the Almighty Allah that God has shown us end of our tenure, and today I've taken the incoming First Lady, distinguished Senator Oluremi Tinubu. I've taken her around. She has seen the main house, and then we are now at the popular glass house. Glass house is a transitional home for the outgoing presidents. I'm advising that the glass house should maintain its tradition of being a transition for the outgoing presidents. As I'm talking to you now, we are residing here with my husband, only two of us here. I think it has to remain so as a norm of the institution and of the house. I've gone around and she's magnanimously showed me around the house and graciously explained a lot of things to me, which is quite a short time and quite overwhelming for me to grasp. But I believe that, God will help me, and then, we will be able to make impactful contributions to the nation.
Well, there you have it. Flood occurs almost annually in many parts of the country, causing unimaginable loss of human lives and property. Nigerian Meteorological Services, NIMET, makes periodic weather predictions to alert citizens on the impending danger. In this report, Trust TV's Kabir Lawal speaks to some residents of Abuja on how they utilize these predictions to avert damaging effects of flood. Take a look.
NIMET in recent prediction said strong winds are likely to precede the rains in some northern states, advising people to be cautious and prepare for heavy rainfall. Some Abuja residents said since the FCT is part of areas covered by the prediction, it is left for people living in areas prone to flood to pay attention to the advisory, commending NIMET for being proactive.
This has become more of a routine, year in, year out. We wake up every, season like this to prediction from NIMET and other, agencies like hydrological agencies and what have you. And the advice has always been to be warned. Things might happen. And taking such, advices for granted has put us where we are today.
Those who are in places where they know there is usually flood, they should also watch out and if possible relocate when they ask them to relocate. I'll say for so many other people, we also have different I'll say measures we need to put in place. Those who need not to go out during the rain should not go out. Those who feel it's better for them to go and start renovating their roofing sheets and the likes. I know we saw rain yesterday and some of us saw signs of what our roofing sheets should look like. So I think everybody should start preparing so that the disaster doesn't become what is going to be far, far much more than what we expect.
Some residents, however, said the government must do all within its powers to protect the people. The government needs to help the people because most of those staying in the flood-prone areas don't have any means of living there. It's because they don't have money. The government should come out and please help those who stay in the flood-prone areas to as a matter of urgency.
The government should wake up. Let me tell you, some of the people that are staying in those places that flood to attack people, it's not their wish. Many of them, it's not their wish. But the fact remains is that they have no options. And we have government. Some of these people they are occupying, there are ways that government can drill the gutter or make ways for the water to go. Those people can live there. Or if you have government that is working, you could relocate them, give them another better place.
The Federal Capital Territory Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, said about 24,713 inhabitants in 3 of the 6 area councils of the FCT were affected by the last year flood. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Here's what's to come. We'll take a look at unlawful extortion, otherwise known as marching ground. This and more when we return. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching News Update on Trust TV. Here's a recap of our major stories. Gombe commercial motorcycle rider who lost eye to thugs attack demand justice. Court asked to halt Tinubu's inauguration, extend Buhari's tenure as Peter Obi insists he will be Nigeria's president. Moving on to more stories, the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, said it will appeal the Federal High Court order which restrained it from imposing fines on broadcast stations. Justice James Omotosho, while ruling in a suit filed by Incorporated Trustees of Media Rights Agenda, MRA, held that NBC lacked the power to impose fines on broadcast stations. Reacting to the judgment, the NBC, in a statement signed by its Director General, Balarabe Ilela, said it had applied for a certified copy of the judgment. Ilila said the commission would appeal against the judgment when found in conflict with previous judgments of the court, which empowers the commission to regulate broadcasting in Nigeria. Justice Omotosho voided the 500,000 naira fine imposed on 45 broadcast stations on March 1st, 2019, on the grounds that NBC, not being a court of law, lacked such power. Land developers in Makurdi are lamenting unlawful extortion called marching ground from local miscreants. Jimmy Adzande reports that a chain of young people organize themselves in every community to carry out the act. Take a look at more.
What I understand about marching ground is a relationship between somebody who is coming to stay in the community, is for him to relate with the area people where he's intend to come and stay. And if you are coming to any domain, you will have to go to the chief, and the chief, you will get relationship between you and the chief and that particular area that you want to go and stay.
It is now common in every community, especially new layouts in Makurdi, where land developers are forced to cough out money before they are allowed to build a house. Some residents said it is unlawful and should not be allowed to continue.
Over time, there have been political talks. So when the idea of political talks was subdued and made to rest, I think they instead of going out of business, they came up with collecting marching ground. So sometimes it's the people in the community, the youth in the community, or sometimes even the community leaders as well, gatekeepers as well, also are in the form of collecting this marching ground at the community level. And as a person who lives in Makurdi and also works in Makurdi, most of the communities that I have worked in or have stayed in Makurdi, the idea of marching ground is a very, it's a concept that brings a community down or takes a community to its lowest. Development doesn't come to those communities.
The residents also said authorities in the state must rise to the occasion and nip it in the bud before it gets out of hand.
I'm one person that I was putting up a structure somewhere in North Bank. They repeatedly come to threaten the workers in the field. And to my greatest surprise, they have the support of our traditional ruler. I don't know where it has started. That thing needs to be discouraged. If we are serious, we need to encourage people who have decided to come and develop our place. Aside from what you pay legally, they come when you are erecting a structure in a site that you must pay that fee. If you have to erect a borehole, you understand they have a specific amount to collect. If that borehole is costing you, I think 400,000, 10% of it must be paid to them. If not, you'll not be able to. We've seen this thing.
There is, however, suspicion that the act is supported by very influential members of the society who play behind-the-scene roles for self-seeking reasons. The residents said if not checked, many land developers will run away from the state capital for their inability to meet up with the marching ground.
And on the foreign scenes, the United Nations on Friday said that Malian troops and foreign military personnel were responsible for the death of over 500 people, mostly civilians, during a military operation in the village of Mura in March 2022. The damning report released by the UN Human Rights Office is based on extensive interviews with victims and witnesses, as well as forensic evidence and satellite imagery. The report highlights the grave human rights abuses committed during the 5-day operation. Releasing the report, UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk said these are extremely disturbing findings. Summary executions, rape and torture during armed conflicts amount to war crimes and could, depending on the circumstances, amount to crime against humanity. Despite requests, Malian authorities denied access to the village for the UN fact-finding team, further raising concerns about accountability and transparency. Witnesses said military helicopters fired upon villagers while troops corralled people into the village center and indiscriminately shot at those attempting to escape. And in sport news, Nigeria's Flying Eagle will take on Colombia and an Argentine local club side, Almirante Brown, in friendly games ahead of the 2023 FIFA Under-20 World Cup. The Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, disclosed this on Twitter on Friday. The Flying Eagles will take on Almirante Brown on Friday night before facing Colombia on Tuesday on May 16. After the two friendly games, the Flying Eagles will then depart Buenos Aires for Mendoza, venue of their Group D fixtures. The Flying Eagles will begin their campaign at the World Cup against debutants Dominican Republic on Sunday, May 21. Their second game is against Italy on May 24th, while on May 27th they face Brazil. Ladan Boso's side finished third at the CAF Under-20 AFCON, which was held in Egypt. Nigeria finished second twice at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in 1989 and 2005. Also, Lionel Messi will return to Paris Saint-Germain starting lineup on Saturday for the first time since making an unauthorized trip to Saudi Arabia. The Argentina captain was initially suspended by the club for 2 weeks for the trip, which followed PSG's home defeat by Lorient on 30th of April. The League One leaders, who have suffered 3 defeats in their past 4 home games, face AC Ajaccio on Saturday. Messi, who has a role as a tourism ambassador for Saudi Arabia, apologized to his teammates last Friday for making the unauthorized trip. The 35-year-old returned to training on Monday, having been left out of the squad for their 3-1 win at Troyes the previous day. Messi is set to leave PSG when his contract expires in summer. And with that, we've come to the end of News Update at this hour. Do well to follow us across all of our media platforms. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Thanks for watching.